first couple of days of September, David and we went to go see the movie Perfect Blue, which for all of you anime fans out there, you might recognize as Satoshi, forgetting his last name, Satoshi Kon. That is his first directorial debut movie. And for horror fans, you might know it as the only anime film you'll ever watch. Because it is spooky. Now, obviously, we're going to be talking about spoilers for the movie because there are spoilers, believe it or not. But now that we've had like a week and a half to think about it, what do you want to tell everyone about
the day after we watched it? The day after I got home, I bought the steelbook for this fucking movie because I need to show it to everyone now. It's one of those movies. It's like the first time I watched Shawshank Redemption, and I bought it, and I immediately showed like Josh. I was like, dude, you got to watch this movie. So I watched that movie like 2 days back to back because it was that good. I'm like, I need to share this with people. So
yeah,
I don't know if any of our other friends have seen it, but if they haven't, we're watching it.
Yeah, listen, I think so. Let's break down what the movie is about, just very briefly. So, Mima, the main character, she starts the movie as a pop idol who is transitioning into a career as an actor, and she has two agents, one who works with, I think specifically the television company that is in charge of this show that she is auditioning for and she has the role for, and then her other agent is her like music agent, who used to be a pop star herself, who also tried to become an actor and it didn't work out for her. So over the course of the movie, there is a serial fan who starts to stalk and later threaten Mima because he doesn't like the direction that she's taking her career. He sees her as a traitor to all of her fans. Blah, blah, blah. Spooky shit starts to happen, as in like murders and attempted murders, and a blog where he is pretending to be Mima, and people are reading the blog and thinking that he is her. And so Mima, after a escalating course of events ranging from doing a nude photo shoot to doing a scene for a show where she gets like sexually assaulted and bad things happen, she starts to lose her sanity a little bit. And I think the best thing that this movie has going for it is the direction and the editing. I know you're a sucker for like really good cuts.
You know what reminds me of? There was a movie a few years ago called The Father. And it's a very, it reminds me in the way that a lot of the times you don't even know what you're watching is real or not. Like in this movie, there's constant, scenes that happen. Like, I remember she was, being interrogated, or, there's, in, a police station, they're like, yeah, she thinks she's just the actress or whatever. I'm like, damn, they catch her? And it's like, it was just the movie. So it's like, it's constantly fucking with your mind. Like, am I even watching something real?
Yeah, but what's most interesting about that scene is the first time they play it, they use her real name, they use her real name in the context of the movie, and then the detectives are like, oh yeah, she thinks she's, Mima, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then at a certain point, they play the scene over, the exact same shots, the exact same whatever, except it's in the context of the show that she's filming. And it's just the editing and the direction and the writing gets progressively fuckier and fuckier as Mima starts to lose more and more of her sanity. And, at a certain point, there is this, since the movie is a commentary on the personas that we create when we go out in public, or in this specific instance, the persona that you create as someone who's famous or someone who's notable or whatever, sometimes that persona starts to take on a life of its own. And when people see you in real life and you don't match that persona, it can sometimes shatter their view of you, or they start to resent you because you're not who they thought you were. And it's a commentary on parasocial relationships. And I've seen a lot of people talk about how much more relevant this movie is now than it was even in 1997 when it released. Because you have all these internet celebrities and all of these like YouTubers and influencers and people like that who go their entire lives, or big parts of their lives, doing podcasts or recording albums or filming TikToks or whatever. And then you see them in real life and they're nothing like that. And it's like there's so many more celebrities like that now that are more easily accessible. And anyway, so her persona, the Mima, the pop idol, takes on a life of her own essentially, and starts like white rabbiting Mima throughout certain scenes. So you'll see this ghostly figure start to like glide through the air, and Mima starts to chase her. She sees her in the reflection of like a car that passes by or whatever. Yeah, it's also, I want to talk about how this movie is drawn too, because unlike other anime movies that we've seen, this movie is drawn very realistically. Like
besides how ugly that motherfucker is, man, and her agent, ugly ass people.
Yeah,
no one's that ugly.
Other than that, mine is you can't make that shit up. Other than a couple of scenes that really benefit from the movie being animated, honestly, I could see this being a live-action thing. But the fact that it is animated means that there are certain sequences that pop out and they feel irregular. They feel abnormal in the context of the rest of the animation in the movie. And I think that only helps to serve the narrative that, oh, things are fucked up because everyone else is moving normally, but this ghost is just fucking floating. It's like you couldn't do that in live action, you know?
Yeah.
Or like the scene that I was telling you about on the way home. There's a scene where the stalker we see him in his room typing up this blog post, and he's pretending to be Mima, and he's got all these posters and shit of her on his walls, and so he starts talking. He starts speaking what he's typing out, and then all of a sudden, all of the posters start talking in like Mima's voice. I'm so glad we saw this in theaters. There are a couple of musical cues that like I don't think we would have gotten the full experience for if we weren't like in a surround sound setting. Yeah, the music in this movie it ranges from like
super catchy, dude. I was like bobbing my head like listening to the actual what was the band name in the movie?
Cham.
Yeah, I was like,
yeah,
this bops.
Yeah. And then there's a theme that uses like, it almost sounds like tribal vocalizations that like freaks me out when I listen to it now. It's got like the or whatever. Like I don't know how to do the thing. But yeah, and you find out, spoiler alert, at the end, because you see Mima, like you see a couple of murders on screen, and one of them that happens on screen, it's legit her. So you as an audience member start to question yourself, like, is she actually killing these people? Are they just dreams? She's getting calls from her agent saying, hey, that photographer that took nude photos of you, like, is dead. You might want to watch out. And you get to the end of the movie and you find out, yeah, listen, if you want to watch the movie and not be spoiled, just skip to, like, 25 minutes into the podcast. I don't know when the exact timestamp's going to be, but just skip around. Turns out the person that's been murdering all the people and influencing the stalker has been her agent. I think it's like Remy is her name, or Rumi.
Rumi, yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah. She has been dressing up in the red pop idol dress and the white headband that Mima used to wear when she was in the group Cham. She kidnaps Mima at the very end of the movie. You see her room is decorated exactly like Mima's is. And you discover that Rumi suffers from split personality disorder, or whatever term they use in the movie. Starts chasing Mima through the streets of Japan. She almost dies. Mima saves her. And the last scene is Mima visiting Rumi in a mental ward where the doctor is talking to Mima, and she's like, yeah, she's still relapses every once in a while. And the director uses a lot of reflections to show us the split personality of Rumi. So you see her look into a mirror and she sees Mima, but we see Rumi. So it's like the, split whatever. And then Mima wearing sunglasses is like, well, she's getting the help that she needs. Thank you, doctor. And she leaves. And a couple of nurses on the way out, they talk to themselves and they're like, what is Mima doing here? Like, she's too famous to come to like a mental institution. And we didn't pick up on this because we watched it in Japanese, and I honestly couldn't tell the difference between the voices. But when Mima looks into the mirror, she's like, nope, I'm the real deal. That's apparently Rumi's fucking voice that says that. So the movie is open-ended because, like, who knows who actually got arrested and actually got committed to the mental hospital.
Yeah, I think that's just the... Because I looked that up too, and the director's like, yeah, no, it's not. It's Rumi's definitely the one in the fucking hospital.
Okay.
I think that was just meant as one last mind fuck.
Yeah. But I mean, once I started watching YouTube analysis videos as soon as we got done with the movie, and I wanted to text you so bad. I was like, dude, I had no idea. But I guess if Satoshi Kon, who tragically passed away in 2010, I think 2014, so rip in peace, Satoshi. But
and you know what the craziest part about this is? It's like, on the way I looked up what this movie was about, and you look it up. You look up Perfect Blue on Google, and the little blurb, all it says is a young Japanese singer is encouraged by her agent to quit singing and pursue an acting career, beginning with a role in a murder mystery show. That's it. That's all it says. And then they start fucking axing people and showing full bush. I was like, what the fuck is this? This is amazing.
Yeah, the scene. I watched a whole analysis about the elevator scene. And
the fucking parking garage scene, man.
It's so good. It's one of those where, like, oh, dude, like, you either have to watch it with headphones on or you have to watch it with a good speaker system because, like, the way that they use sound to create an atmosphere, I've legit never seen it in anime ever. I've never seen, and, like, psychological thrillers are not popular in Japan. Like, apparently, like, this movie debuted in France, I think. Like, it didn't even debut in Japan until it got global recognition and global popularity. And now it's considered one of the best anime films of all time. Yeah, dude, I could go on and on about this movie. I need to find a poster hanging up in my wall.
It was very good. Like, actually, probably... with the exception of, like, the Miyazaki stuff, because those are just kind of their own... It's like Tarantino movies. They're just in their own category over here.
Right.
Probably the best anime movie I watched.
And we've seen a lot. Like, up until this point, we've watched a lot together. So it's a testament to... Honestly, I think part of it is how Perfect Blue kind of adapts to the Western sensibilities of filmmaking, while also, of course, taking on a lot of aspects of Japanese filmmaking and Japanese characteristics and character writing and stuff. I also remember thinking, like, why the fuck is this movie called Perfect Blue? And I don't know if this is an exact explanation, but they use the color red a lot in this movie. And the color red is sort of to symbolize Mima's every time you see the color red on screen and it takes up a lot of the screen itself, it's supposed to represent her mental health deteriorating. So the elevator scene, like we were just talking about, when they actually show the boombox, the entire floor of the elevator is red, so most of the screen is red. Even like in the beginning, the book, the script that she's reading is all red, and it covers up her face. When she's reading aloud the line, "Wait, who are you?" which is essentially just the theme of the movie. God, dude. And I learned that the elevator scene, the essential pivot point of the movie, it happens at the exact midway point of the film's runtime. It happens at exactly like 45 minutes and some seconds.
That's like some Tool shit, throwing the word mitosis exactly in the middle of the song.
Yeah. It's like the more and more I think about this movie and the more I talk about it, the more impressed I am with it. And right now, they being a bunch of theaters, are showing a bunch of all of Satoshi Kon's movies in the order of release over the next couple of months. So that means Perfect Blue, Paprika, Tokyo Godfathers, and the third movie that I forget that is also about questioning reality and blurring the lines between reality and psychological fiction. So if you haven't seen Perfect Blue, you gotta watch it. You gotta check it out. It's not only an amazing anime film, but it's an amazing film in general. I implore everyone, even if you're not a big anime fan, even if you just are into psychological thrillers or you're a big film buff, you gotta watch this movie. And as soon as you show it to Vince, let me know, and then I'll come over and and we'll watch it together because I need to see this again.
Hell yeah.